This is a success story. The story of 17 car washes and how attractive surroundings, good business management, efficient operation, and modern Sherman equipment have made them outstanding. Our first wash is an old-timer, Stan Smith's Minuteman wash in Columbia, South Carolina. Stan bought the Minuteman system and has gradually replaced the original equipment with Sherman. It's now a top-notch operation. Stan pumps a lot of gas and has 8 bays for auto service. Stan washes a lot of cars, too, as this line shows. This was shot on Sunday, and 500 cars were washed by 1 o'clock. Business is very good. Stan has really gone all out to make his operation a showplace. This unusual desert garden in the turning area adds a lot of interest. It's all dolled up with rocks and a fountain. Stan says it sure beats cutting grass. As in other well-managed big volume operations, employees here save time and trouble by driving cars up to the conveyor. All employees are attractively uniformed, a very sound investment for any operator. Notice the use of rust remover on the bumpers, another example of Stan's extra attention to details. Stan Smith washes all floor mats, too. These men use handguns connected to a power wash unit to clean the mats. And they use compressed air to dry them. Now, this is a very popular system around the country. Stan feels it's a bit slow, but well worth it. Following his Sherman suggestion, Stan recently put in this overhead vacuuming arrangement. With 2 men on each side of the line, it's very fast and efficient. The men really have to hustle, though, because 120 cars per hour are going through. Stan has extended his conveyor beyond the building to get more washing room inside. After vacuuming, the bright work is cleaned by detergent applied by handguns under 600 pounds pressure. You'll notice the walkway is not enclosed. Quite unusual, but possible here because the wash area is so wide. In the background, you see the Sherman DA2 applicator. Its oscillating nozzles strip off surface dirt before the car goes on to the body brush and mitting operations. Stan Smith has a large and most unusual finishing area with 2 doors on the left, 2 on the right, and 2 in the center. With this arrangement, 3 or 4 finishing crews can detail as many as 8 to 10 cars at a time. This makes for peak production and top quality. Here's part of Stan Smith's good-looking walkway and waiting room, heated and air-conditioned for the comfort of customers. Automobile accessories are displayed at the side, and soft drinks, sandwiches, and impulse items are all sold at this attractively canopied cashier's counter. Here's another old-timer, Jack's Car Wash, owned by Jack Milan in Detroit. This wash handled 50,000 cars in the first 100 days of operation in 1953. Jack is one of the biggest operators in the business and will soon open his 5th unit. Jack's wash still handles an enormous volume of business, as you can see. He has always paid close attention to details and insists on extra good quality. Jack Milan is a pioneer who really keeps up with the times. Gas wash tie-ins are a big part of his operations. He sells gas to wash customers, washes to gas customers, and both ends of the business benefit. Here's a top volume operation, Paul's Auto Wash, owned by Paul Saraceno in Detroit. He recently purchased land in the rear, extended his conveyor, and can handle 60 to 70 cars off the street in multiple lines. Paul makes good use of this giant billboard to promote his gas and car wash prices. They're a little higher than the Detroit average, but with good quality washing, you can get a real good price. Volume like this is the proof, and Paul washes over 250,000 cars a year. Beautiful landscaping and architecture help bring in the business. The grounds and building, inside and out, are kept as neat as a pin. Paul Saraceno is another owner who believes his men should drive up to the hookup point. In this way, he can run cars bumper to bumper for peak production. He's a believer in extra services, too, like this steam cleaning of wheels and bright work. Paul's proud of his Sherman DA2 applicator, which completely covers the car with detergent. He's added a second high-velocity dryer for all the cold weather washing he does. Here's Paul's well-managed finishing area with the washing machines neatly recessed in the wall. The exit area is marked with red dye to guide customers. And here are some customers who are sure to be pleased with their bright, clean car. The New Look Car Wash in Philadelphia is owned by Bing and Tony Parisi and Larry Martino. It's one of the biggest in the area. Volume is high, and the limited approach space is utilized very well with double lines. And employees drive the cars into the building. Vacuuming is done outside with an overhead setup, and wheels are steamed prior to wheel washing inside with a Sherman Foamer wheel washer. Peak production here is about 150 cars an hour. There's a sizable inside finishing area and more detailing space outside. You want to buy a boat? Talk to Mike and Al Minicello of Exeter, Pennsylvania. They sell marine supplies in the summer and quality car washes all year long. They're successful operators in a small community, thanks to marine equipment sales and a reputation for quality washing. Big signs like this are sure to catch the attention of customers and sell simonizing and other services. Mike and Al also sell a lot of impulse merchandise from this car center. One of the truly outstanding operations in the East is the Supersonic Car Wash in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That's in the metropolitan Philadelphia area. Owners Frank, George, and Bob Shetter do a tremendous business in this 4-year-old plant. The Shetters have a striking and unusual building, and the well-kept landscaping helps attract many customers. Cars are vacuumed quickly and efficiently on the line, and then the wheels are pre-cleaned with steam. Inside, there's a Sherman hood and side brush unit equipped with power wash. The Shetter brothers go to great lengths to make customers feel welcome, and an attractive cashier like this is also a big help. That's the entrance to the Shetters' private office, located where they can keep tabs on all operations. Everything here is in the best of taste. Couches, lamps, and wall clock all add up to a good impression. The Shetters provide jobs for many high school boys on weekends when the volume runs very high. Because this wash is parallel to the street, cars must make a left turn to exit. Cars enter the Sherman Foamer. If you're sharp-eyed, you'll notice a Sherman experiment. We have a double nozzle outlet on one side and a single on the other. Then, after a thorough rinsing, cars enter the waxer, which contains an after rinse to aid in spreading and setting the wax film. Here's another top-flight Eastern operation, the Capitol Car Wash in Trenton, New Jersey. It's open every day of the week. Owners Sam Polinsky and Saul Kessler really turn out the production. On this day, they ran 170 to 180 cars per hour. And there's so much room in the finishing area that 4 detailing crews can work at the same time. Volume like this can create a traffic problem, which is solved with a part-time policeman. Prices and hours are clearly marked on this conspicuous sign. Notice the special price for trucks. Here's the Capitol vacuuming operation. They use double vacuums, and one crew does the front while a second crew cleans the rear. Here's another view of the vacuuming setup, equipped with 2 10-horsepower Sherman Model 900 cleaners, which can keep up with peak production. Steam cleaning of floor mats is a big part of Capitol service. Bright work and wheels are also steam cleaned, as well as the mats. Cars run bumper to bumper on the conveyor. And there's the Sherman Foamer wheel washer, which combines brushes and steam for efficient, high-speed cleaning. And there, a car enters the Sherman 5-brush unit with pre-rinse. Here's a well-lathered car coming from the Sherman Foamer, and that's Sam Polinsky giving the men a few pointers about mitting. This is the Sherman hood and top follower brush in operation. This unit cleans areas that mitters often miss. Even though they have side brushes, Sam and Saul still mitt the sides of cars for customer show. This Sherman blower strips water off cars really fast. And this finishing area is big enough to handle 10 cars at a time. The handsome waiting room has restrooms, merchandise displays, and vending machines for customer convenience. People in Cleveland really know this sign, which advertises Jerry Coon's attractive and well-designed car wash. Jerry has a handsome modern building and really takes a lot of pains to keep the grounds neat. The lineup area is unusually empty, as this was taken on a rainy day. But Jerry has a real good volume and does a big job selling spray wax at 50 cents extra. This is the good-looking walkway with Jerry himself and one of his managers, plus Jack Schmidt, who is Sherman distributor. Because Jerry has a diagonal conveyor, the walkway widens out toward the cashier's booth. This permits him to have restrooms and office on the customer side, which is a very good arrangement. This sign builds a lot of goodwill for Jerry. It's typical of his operation and is something every car wash operator could adopt. In Madison, Wisconsin, one of the well-known landmarks there is this octopus, the clever trademark that John and Bill Jerkins use in all of their operations. It's typical of their way of doing business. They're Sherman distributors and substantial businessmen. They've sold some of their units and are now working to franchise washes and develop a successful chain. Gas is an important tie-in at all Jerkins Brothers washes. This is their number 3 wash, most attractive with excellent exposure to the street. This wash has an unusual feature, these side opening doors. They're operated by air cylinders and a push button. Eliminate the condensation drip of overhead doors and serve as a windbreak for exiting cars. Here's one of those glamorous West Coast operations, the Cinema City Car Wash in Hollywood. Sol Miller, the owner, washes many cars belonging to movie stars, and this is his 3rd operation. Because of the weather, West Coast washes are usually not enclosed. They vacuum outside from an off-the-line stationary position. This is another Los Angeles operation, the Slauson Avenue Car Wash. This one has a gas tie-in. Milt Enzer and H. Meltzer own this very modern and stylish unit and do very well pumping gas. They give a free car wash with the purchase of 15 gallons. West Coast prices are somewhat lower than in other areas because there are so many more working days. Cars get a thorough pre-cleaning before entering the Sherman brush unit. They use handguns connected to a Sherman power wash. And this man uses a brush and gun with real ease. Notice the pusher bar conveyor. They're very popular on the West Coast. Here's a bird's eye view of the operation of pusher bars. And here you see the vacuuming operation. They have enough space for cars to make 2 90-degree turns. Deep in the heart of Texas is the Speed Car Wash in Dallas, owned by Jim Jackson. Jim does a Texas-sized wash business, and he pumps a whale of a lot of gas. Cars are vacuumed at the pumps, a smart way to sell more gas. Cars really get dirty in Texas, and here's one being pre-cleaned with a handgun prior to entering the power wash applicator. It was a real chilly day when this was taken, just 29 degrees. Yet Jim used open-type construction to show off the Sherman equipment to traffic passing by on the freeway. As a car on the conveyor approaches the Sherman applicator, the oscillating nozzles bathe it completely with detergent. You can actually see the surface dirt as it's stripped off and washed away. And now you see the side brushes going into action. The top follower brush really does an effective cleaning job. It follows the contours of the car, between the antenna and mirror, cleans the V-strip on the windshield, which is often missed. It has a gentle touch and doesn't even disturb the windshield wipers. Jim Jackson makes customers feel real welcome with friendly signs like this. Also with the finest quality washing and courtesy. The waiting room is most attractive, and Jim sells a great deal of merchandise here. Here's the Speed Car Wash in Memphis, Tennessee. It's owned by Merle Strow, one of the best-known operators in the business. Merle does a tremendous business with 7 units. Here's the gas area with 5 pumps. Stop and go lights above the approach area direct customers into the proper lanes for gas or a wash. And the finishers go to work with both hands, a real efficient operation. Supermarket shopping carts are used to take mitting claws to the washers, a real smart idea. And Merle's waiting room has a lot of extra touches, like fresh-cut flowers, soft drinks for the customers, and electric sign. And Merle displays a variety of merchandise to good advantage. And here's Merle himself. Hiya, Merle. Here's number 7 of the Minuteman Car Wash Group in Atlanta, Georgia, owned by H.L. and Skeet Kennan. Units 8 and 9 are under construction, and they'll have the most modern Sherman equipment. All their units sell gas, and here's a sign showing the price structure. When possible, they vacuum at the pumps to sell more gas. The Kennans offer complete car cleaning service and use handguns for pre-cleaning wheels and bright work. Now, this was taken on opening day, so here's pretty Miss Minute Car Wash at the exit, passing out cooling soft drinks to customers. And here's that lucky man, Skeet Kennan, with the lovely Southern belle, Miss Minute Car Wash. There's a good use of color in the waiting room. It's air-conditioned, soundproofed, and handsome in every way. Glass separating the wash line is kept sparkling clean to show off the equipment. The Kennans have an unusual idea, up-to-date stock market averages for the convenience of customers. And the view of the line from the carpeted walkway is somewhat limited, as the Kennans don't wish customers to linger too long. The Sherman waxer is all dolled up with lights and with a Unilon curtain. An outstanding new operation is Sam's Car Wash, just outside Washington, D.C. It's owned by Sam Pellerito and Joe Scatareggia. It's a beautiful building on a spacious lot with good exposure and excellent volume. They have a very efficient overhead vacuuming setup. This was a pretty slow day, so they're not using the 2 Sherman 900 vacuum cleaners. Wheels of all cars are steam cleaned. Then the cars enter the 2-brush pre-rinse unit. It's in gleaming red porcelain steel, like all the equipment here, and has red Unilon brushes. Cars are preconditioned, and road film is loosened to make further cleaning easier. The Sherman 5-brush unit then combines brush action, detergent, and water for complete cleaning. Notice the feature that permits cars of all sizes to be washed. As this big car enters, a wand is tripped and the brushes move back. As the car leaves the brush unit, the oscillating nozzles of the foamer cover it thoroughly with aerated detergent. Here's the Sherman Haverberg wheel washer. Notice how the brush moves out to clean the wire wheels of this Triumph sports car. And here, a normal-size American car moves up for wheel cleaning. You now can see the effective cleaning action of the hubcap brush. The uniformed detailing crew gets to work before a car leaves the blower. 8 to 10 cars can be fanned out in the spacious finishing area for detailing on busy days. This is an unusually handsome building, and the approaches and exits are well planned for the big volume of business normally handled. Here's the big outside finishing area. As you can see, they had to take a big bite out of a hill to erect the building. This walkway is a real showplace, attractively tiled, sparkling clean glass, ashtrays, plants, and tasteful displays of merchandise. Sam's Car Wash sells as much merchandise as many small retail stores. To run an operation like this, you've got to know quite a bit about selling consumer goods, as well as washing cars. The owners of Sam's Car Wash qualify as experts on both counts. This shows you the volume at Sam's on busy Sunday mornings in winter, after a snowstorm. A special policeman is required to control the traffic. Cars on a side street are lined up over the hill. This is the kind of day that makes your mouth water. They have a really enormous approach area and can run 200 cars an hour on busy days. Sam's men drive cars up to the conveyor on this busy day. Here is the original Northland Car Wash in Detroit, built by the Northland Associates, and one of the largest volume operations in the country. This building has been enlarged in both front and rear. This car wash pumps a lot of gas, and the wash price is tied in with gas purchases. And now you'll see the Northland Associates' 4th and newest wash, one of the most beautiful in the country. And here it is, the spectacular new Northland Auto Wash, an operation that cost over $500,000, including the land. Owners Lou Margos, Dave Barris, Manny Feldstein, and Cy Techner spared no expense to make this a peak operation. This ultra-modern wash is built of pre-stressed concrete and is located on a triangle of land. Nearly 50,000 cars pass by every day. The approach area is very large and was planned to avoid sharp turns. Cars are vacuumed on the line. Here's owner Manny Feldstein with the cashier in the waiting room, a truly handsome area. The brush unit is covered with stainless steel. Notice how the top brush does a real good job, even on a convertible. The Sherman Foamer has double outlets for more complete coverage. This feature is available to owners of all previous Sherman models without cost. The Foamer saves these men a lot of extra trips to the mitting tanks. Here's a 5-brush unit with built-in final rinse. The Sherman blower in the background does a fine drying job, even at the high conveyor speed used here. This is a wonderfully big indoor finishing area. And note the interesting pattern of sunlight on the floor, a very beautiful picture. This film has been presented by the Sherman Carwash Equipment Company. We wish to thank all the car wash operators whose cooperation has made it possible.